Lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanglamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon. This is koolNews at 4 p.m. I am Asbir and I must get into the headlines for this hour. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday reiterated his administration's commitment to strengthen the Philippine Air Force as part of the country's resolve to contribute to global peace and security. Marcos made the pronouncement as he expressed gratitude to the PAF personnel during its 77th founding anniversary at Basa Air Base in Florida Blanca, Pampanga. The president said PAF has already increased its maritime domain awareness by regularly conducting maritime patrol missions and monitoring over 400 unknown tracks within the Philippine Air Defense Identification Zone. PAF at the same time also continued its internal security operations, which resulted in the surrender of over 250 members of local insurgency groups, he pointed out. Furthermore, Marcos said that the national government heightened its international defense and security engagement through talks with foreign military counterparts and multiple bilateral and multilateral military exercises. This is a testament to our stern resolve to contribute to global peace and security, said the Commander-in-Chief. In all of these, the selfless women and men of the Air Force have been nothing short of exemplary, especially in your efforts to provide prompt assistance by regularly conducting humanitarian and disaster response operations, he recalled. According to Marcos, the government is now in the process of acquiring additional air assets, enhancing cyber welfare communication systems, and pursuing base development programs for PAF. These efforts, he said, have already resulted in the acquisition of additional aircraft as well as advanced radio systems, which have transformed our operational readiness and has enhanced our operational reach. Apart from PAF's capability development, Marcos also vowed to prioritize the welfare of PAF personnel. As your Commander-in-Chief, I can assure you that of this administration's support in prioritizing your welfare, ensuring that you are all well attended in terms of overall health and wellness, so you may perform your duties effectively and safely, he said. During the celebration, Marcos witnessed a live capability demonstration showing the PAF's capabilities. These activities include retaking a territory supposedly seized by hostile forces, detecting, tracking, and neutralizing enemy aircraft through airstrikes, intelligence reconnaissance, and surveillance of the area using manned aerial vehicles and troop insertion via Black Hawk helicopters using fast rope insertion and extraction systems. The president also led the presentation of plaques and streamers to 17 awardees, recognizing their achievements in the service. And now for the cool weather forecast. Parts of eastern Visayas and southern Mindanao will have overcast skies and rain showers, while generally fair weather is forecast in the rest of the country on Monday, according to the State Weather Bureau. In its early morning forecast, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration Pagkasa said two weather systems, the Intertropical Convergence Zone (ITCZ) and Easterlights, will affect the country. Obed Badrina, weather specialist from Pagkasa, said, itong ITCZ ay halos nasa labas na ng PAR, Philippine Area of Responsibility, at na apektuhan nito ay yung bahagi ng Southern Mindanao, particular na itong ilang bahagi ng suction magdadala ito ng ulap na kalangkitan na may mga pag-ulan, pagkilat at pagkulog pati sa lalawigan ng Davao or Occidental weather, Occidental, yeah. This ITCC is almost outside the Philippine area of responsibility, and it is affecting parts of southern Mindanao, particularly some parts of Sorsogon. It will also bring cloudy skies with rain showers and thunderstorms to the province of Davao Occidental. Samantala, itong easterlights ay magdadala pa rin ng mag-ulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan, particular na sa May East Visayas. Magdadala rin ito ng mas malaking sansa ng thunderstorms sa bahagi ng Bicol Region, Aurora at Quezon, he added. Meanwhile, the easterlights will still bring cloudy skies with showers to Eastern Visayas. There is also a high chance of thunderstorms in parts of the Bicol Region, Aurora, and Quezon. But Rina likewise reported that the rest of the country will have generally fair weather with chances of thunderstorms from afternoon until evening. Pag-asa added that no low pressure area was spotted in and around the PAR and that no gale warning is in effect over any of the country's seaboards. Ahead of State of the Nation address on July 22nd, over 22,000 policemen will be deployed to various parts of the country, including areas near Batasan Pambansa Complex in Quezon City, where President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will deliver his third State of the Nation address, or SONA, on July 22nd. In the statement issued on Monday, the National Capital Region Police Office and CRPO said 32,621 police will be dispatched and sub-task groups will be formed. Apart from the Security Task Force SONA 2024, we will form sub-task groups led by our 5 district directors in Metro Manila, NCRPO Chief General Major General Jose Melencio Narcates Jr. said in Filipino. We will distribute the security and medical assistance alongside public and private agencies, he added. Of the 22,621 COPs, 17,991 personnel are from the NCRPO and 1,879 are from other PNP units, including the police regional offices of Central Luzon and Calabarzon. Meanwhile, 2,771 personnel are from other government agencies and force multipliers. Former Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri is confident that the Senate panel on accounts will see no irregularities as it delves deeper into the cost of the new Senate building in Taguig. The Senate panel on accounts, now headed by Senator Alvin Catillano, will probe some issues haunting the new Senate building, particularly its allegedly ballooning costs on July 3. Yes, absolutely, wala talaga. Zubiri told reporters in an ambassador interview in Butler after he was asked if the panel would see no anomalies in funding or at least misappropriation of funds related to the establishment. Yes, absolutely, there will really be none. Actually, I inherited the project from Senator Soto and Senator Lacson at si Senator Soto naman, lalo na si Senator Lacson ay talagang stickler yan for accountability and transparency, he recalled. Actually, I inherited the project from Senator Soto and Senator Lacson, and Senator Soto, most particularly Senator Lacson, are really sticklers for accountability and transparency. So, pag upo ko po bilang Senate President, sabi ko, kailang transparent ito. Kailangang ito po ay above board. Wala po tayong pamahan dyan kung hindi natin makikita kung saan galing ang mga materials na ito, Subiri said. So when I assumed Senate presidency, I made it clear that this should be transparent. This should be above board. We will sign no papers if we will not see where the materials will be used. Dapat dumaan sa tamang sistema, paraan, dumaan sa procurement service law at yan po ang aking pinabuya at pinagsabi sa ating accounts chair, Senator Nancy Binoy, and I think she's done a great job, he added. It should follow the proper system, waste, and procurement service. I left that to our accounts chair, Senator Nancy Binoy, and I think she's done a great job. According to the former Senate leader, there is a pressing need for the Senate to have its own building. This view led him to call on new Senate President Ches Escudero to expedite the inquiry on the matter. I am hoping and I am appealing to Senator Ches Escudero to take the inquiries as soon as possible para ituloy na po nilang ang may balik po nila ang schedule ng pag-turn over ng ang new Senate building, said Subiri. Escudero earlier ordered a review of NSB's construction costs. This review comes after Catiano informed him about an apparent dramatic increase in the cost from an initial budget of 8 billion pesos to a projected 23.3 billion pesos. The NSB's construction began in 2019 under the Senate President Vicente Soto III. Police in Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon are Barzon seized more than 18 million pesos worth of illegal drugs during their month-long operations in June. The Police Regional Office 4A, or Pro-4A, Public Information Office, PIO, reported on Monday, July 1 that anti-narcotics operatives arrested 875 suspects during 675 anti-illegal drug operations across the region in June. The law enforcers seized 2,616.53 grams of Shabu crystal meth and 2,177.30 grams of marijuana with a total value of 18,053,680 pesos, the report said. The arrested persons were detained and faced complaints for violating the country's anti-drugs law. The report also said the cops arrested 1,853 persons engaged in illegal cockfights, card games, toss coins, and board games such as bingo and mahjong during 819 operations in June. The police also held suspected bet collectors for the illegal operation of small-town lottery called bookies. Authorities seized a total of 668,974 pesos bet money from illegal gamblers. At least 441 criminal cases have been filed in court against the arrested suspects. Pasig City is celebrating its 451st founding anniversary on Tuesday, and Mandalang declared July 2 as a special non-working holiday in the local team. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., through Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, issued Proclamation number 612 on June 29, recognizing the occasion and giving locals the chance to celebrate the milestone. It is but fitting and proper that the people of the city of Pasig be given full opportunity to celebrate in the occasion and enjoy the celebration, the proclamation states. I, Lucas Bersamin, Executive Secretary by authority of the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., do hereby declare Tuesday, 2nd of July 2024, a special non-working day in the city of Pasig, it also says. and Vice President Sara Duterte's alleged blasting of her office decision not to request confidential funds for 2025 is an empty gesture, as she should not have secret funds in the first place, ACT Teachers Party List Representative Francis Castro said on Monday. In a statement, Castro said the office of the Vice President is not mandated to have CFs, as it does not have a surveillance function. Her statement came after Duterte on Saturday said that her office did not propose any CF allocation for 2025. Why should she request for confidential funds when her office is not mandated to have such funds? Besides, she is just afraid that Congress will again take it away along with other surveillance agencies that are not mandated for confidential funds, the lawmaker said. Castro also pointed out that Duterte has not yet explained what happened to the confidential funds that the Office of Vice President got in 2022. Also, up till now, she has not satisfactorily explained the 125 million peso confidential funds she illegally acquired and spent in 11 days in 2022. She also has to account for now how she spent her confidential funds in 2023, the lawmaker said. During the deliberations in 2023 for the 2024 budget, Castro and other members of the Magkabayan bloc proposed to remove the proposed confidential funds under the agencies handled by Duterte, 500 million pesos for Office of the Vice President, and 150 million pesos for the Department of Education, DepEd. The House of Representatives decided to remove the confidential funds from the Office of Vice President. It relegated it to agencies involved in securing the West Philippine Sea, like the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard. DepEd's confidential fund was converted into items under its maintenance and other operating expenses, particularly assistance for teachers and students. Castro is a staunch critic of Duterte. In May 2023, Escudero said Duterte was diverting the public from real education issues after the lawmaker was accused of shifting attention from the communist rebel attacks in Masbate province. ACT teachers also urged DepEd to hire 30,000 teachers yearly to address gaps in the education sector, but Duterte said it was unrealistic. After Duterte resigned as Education Secretary, Castro said the Vice President decision had been long overdue, adding that nothing was done to resolve the education crisis in her 2 years at her helm. For Governor Party List Representative Arlene Rosas, Duterte is not yet off the hook in terms of explaining DepEd's budget utilization, even with her resignation. She shouldn't back about requesting confidential funds for the next budget. She is not off the hook yet, the lawmaker said in Filipino. It is now 4:18 in the afternoon, and we will have more headlines coming up on koolNews at 4 p.m. Stick around, we will be right back. back to koolNews at 4 p.m. Let's continue with the headlines. Senate President Francis Chase Escudero has no reason to worry as the upper chamber Solid 7 plans to remain independent and non-obstructive, according to Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri. Zubiri, who was unseated by Escudero as Senate Chief on May 20, is part of the bloc, whose member also includes Senators Joel Villanueva, Nancy Binay, Sonny Angara, J.V. Ertrosito, Lauren Lagarda, and Sharon Cajolian. Ang plano namin will still remain independent. Wala pa pong usapang na minority. We're waiting lang for Senator Joel. Siyempre, majority leader namin siya. Of course, siya rin isa sa mga spoken members namin. But we will wait for him before we can make any decisions, Zubiri told reporters in an unabashed interview here on Monday. We plan to remain independent. We have not talked about being a minority yet. We're just waiting for Senator Joel. Of course, he is our majority leader and one of our spoken members. But we will wait for him before we can make any decisions. But before July 22, of course, we will already know how we will be positioning ourselves. But definitely, Senator Chis has nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned. Basta gawin nila lang ng trabaho nila ng matapat para sa tambayan, he added. But before July 22nd, of course, we will already know how we will be positioning ourselves. But definitely, Senator Chis has nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned, as long as he does his job honestly for the people. Some members of Solid 7, particularly Villanueva and Ertrosito, earlier admitted that they were mulling joining the Senate's two-man minority bloc following the Senate shakeup in May. But when Zubiri was asked if Villanueva and Ertrosito's stance still holds now, he said none of the Solid 7 members have categorically indicated an intention to join the Senate minority group. Zubiri likewise made it clear that he will never be an opposition senator. No, bakit naman ako mag-opposition? I entered 2022 as part of the unity, he said. In the translated statement, he said, no, why should I be in opposition? I entered 2022 as part of the unity. In case you forgot what unity is, well, unity is a political alliance formed to boost the 2022 election bids of then presidential candidate Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and then candidate for Vice President Sara Duterte. Yung lang, sabi ko na nanglulukot ako dahil parang nagpubuwak na ng unity. But as far as I am concerned, I will still remain assisting the president in a legislation that needs to be done for our country, he added. However, as I said, I am sad because unity seems to be disbanding. But as far as I'm concerned, I will still remain assisting the president with legislation that needs to be done for our country. Our party wage hike for private sector workers in Metro Manila by the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board, RTWPB. The Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, said the RTWBP's order will take effect 15 days from its publication or on July 17. The increase will bring the daily minimum wage in the region from 610 pesos to 645 pesos for the non-agricultural sector and from 573 to 608 pesos for the agriculture sector, service and retail establishments employing 15 or fewer workers, and manufacturing establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers. According to the DOLE, the new pay rates, which translate to roughly a 5.7% increase from the prevailing daily minimum salary rates in the region, remain above the latest regional poverty threshold for a family of 5. It added that the wage hike results in a comparable 5% increase in wage-related benefits covering 20-month pay, service incentive, leave, and social security benefits such as SSS, PhilHealth, and PAG-EBIC. The wage order is expected to directly benefit around 988,243 minimum wage earners in National Capital Region, the DOLE said. About 1.7 million full-time wage and salary workers earning above the minimum wage may also indirectly benefit as a result of upward adjustments at the enterprise level arising from the correction of wage distortion, it added. Meanwhile, under the National Wages and Productivity Commission Omnibus Rules on Minimum Wage Determination, retail or service establishments with less than 10 workers and an enterprise affected by natural calamities or human-induced disasters may apply to get exempted from the RTWBP wage hike order. Barangay micro business enterprises, on the other hand, are not covered by the minimum wage law pursuant to Republic Act No. 9178. The Department of Health on Monday reported a slight increase in dengue cases nationwide with 77,688 infections recorded as of June 15th. However, the DOH also warned that figures may still rise due to incoming late reports. According to the agency, the count of dengue cases as of June 15 is 15% higher than the previous year's 67,576 cases logged in the same period. The DOH also said a small increase was observed from May 19 to June 1 with 6,082 cases as 5,547 infections were recorded from May 5 to 18. While there have only been 4,689 cases reported from June 2 to 15 as of this update, the DOH cautions that this number may still change due to incoming late reports, it noted. Only 5 of the country's 17 regions did not post increases in dengue cases from May 5 to June 1, the DOH said, enumerating that these areas are Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, and Caraga. The DOH then encouraged the public to utilize the 4S strategy to combat dengue, which the World Health Organization describes as a viral infection that spreads from mosquitoes to people. For the 4S strategy against dengue are search and destroy mosquito breeding grounds by eliminating stagnant water and their containers, self-protection measures like insect repellent and wearing long-sleeve shirts and long pants, seek early consultation with a doctor or health worker for any symptoms, and support fogging or spraying in local hotspot or outbreak areas where an increase in cases is registered. Health Secretary Doro Barbosa said one solution to dengue, while basic and principle, needs collective and sustained action. The rise in cases this year is still early and much can still be done. The DOH vowed to continue monitoring and assessing dengue infections in the country to implement necessary measures and interventions. Now, the question is, will Vice President Sara Duterte and First Lady Lisa Ariana Marcos be seatmates again during the third State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.? That's for the interagency panel to decide, according to House of Representatives Secretary General Regnel Velasco. In an unabashed interview on Monday, Velasco was asked what the sitting plan for the upcoming SONA would look like, given that the political landscape has changed due to the Marcos Duterte rift. We have an interagency committee wherein the office of the president and the Senate counterparts are there. So we will decide on that. The sitting plan for the VIPs As of now, there's no decision, Velasco said. In the past SONAs, the First Lady and the Vice President were seated beside each other. Last April, the First Lady admitted snubbing the Vice President after she attended prayer rallies where the President was called a drug addict by the Vice President's father, former President Rodrigo Duterte. In June, the Vice President resigned from her post as Education Secretary. According to Velasco, the panel is looking to accommodate 2,000 guests in the plenary hall. At least 60% of the attendees who have confirmed, the House official added. When asked if the Vice President was among those invited, Velasco answered in the affirmative. Renovation works are ongoing at the Pambansang complex in a bid to make the venue for the sauna more conducive to attendees. Velasco did not give details on how much the house is spending on repairs and improvements. He said that part of the improvements was to enclose the north and south wings where VIPs would move through. Air conditioning units will also be installed to make the areas cooler. We don't have the figures available now, but as you know, this is an old building. That's why we have decided to renovate the north, south, and that back lobby, he explained. We have decided to install air conditioning because sometimes the guests have a hard time when they line up. As you know, at the sauna, all of the VIPs will be passing through the north and south lobby. One major complaint is that it is too hot, he added in Filipino. For security, the Patasan complex will also be locked down starting July 19, Friday. The same arrangement, we will lock down the building during the weekend of Sona. So employees will be limited, access will be limited, only a select number of staff and employees will be allowed, he added. And a total of 23 tricycle drivers were apprehended by authorities in Quezon City. This action comes as the Land Transportation Office started its implementation of the No Plate, No Travel regulation on Monday. Reports reaching the LTO Central Office revealed that in the first hours of the implementation, a total of 60 drivers were apprehended after their tricycles were found to be unregistered, the agency said in the statement. A total of 5 more tricycles were apprehended for operating the motor vehicle with no license plate, while 2 others were apprehended for driving without driver's license, it added. According to LTO Chief Victor Mendoza II, the Quezon City government and representatives of various tricycle operators and Drivers Association DODA agreed on the policy's enforcement. Mendoza likewise emphasized the importance of the policy in preventing colorum tricycles or units operating without permits from picking up commuters in areas that are not covered in the regular route of the vehicles. This is also in line with the instruction of the Department of Transportation Secretary Jimmy J. Bautista to ensure the safety of all road users, especially the commuters who depend on tricycles as a mode of transport on their way to and from their office and schools, he added. But it also reminded drivers that all tricycles must display valid and authorized license plates at all times while plying the road. To prevent more violators, the LTO chief said sufficient personnel from his agency and QC traffic enforcers will be dispatched to strategic areas in Quezon City. It's now 4:39 in the afternoon and we still have a lot of headlines coming up on koolNews at 4 p.m. So stick around, we will be right back.
Consult your doctor.
Welcome back to koolNews at 4 p.m. Now let's get into the international headlines. For the first time, North Korean officials have been seen wearing lapel pins with the image of leader Kim Jong-un. Another sign the North is boosting his personality cult to the level bestowed on his late dictator father and grandfather. North Koreans are required to wear pins over their hearts which for decades bore images of either the country's father, Kim Il-sung, or his son Kim Jong-il, or both. The existence of pins dedicated to Kim Jong-un had not been verified until state media published photos on Sunday showing officials wearing his pins at a ruling Workers' Party meeting. The pins are part of a state-sponsored ideology surrounding the Kim family which treats Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il like gods. They are memorized with numerous statues across North Korea. Their birthdays are two of the country's main holidays, and the portraits are hung in all homes and offices. Few question current leader Kim Jong-un's hold on power, but few images honoring the 40-year-old have been displayed in public since he took power in late 2011 upon his father's death. Recently, however, he has begun taking steps to boost his own personality cult while also trying to further move out of the shadow of his father's and grandfather's legacies. In May, his portrait was publicly displayed along with those of the two other Kims for the first time at a Workers' Party-run training school. In January, Kim announced he will no longer pursue peaceful unification with South Korea, decades-long policy cherished by his father and grandfather. Observers also say North Korea appears to be refraining from using terms like the Day of Sun, a reference to the April 15th birthday of Kim Il-sung. The latest series of efforts to idolize Kim Jong-un is assessed as a move to dilute his predecessors while establishing his authority as a leader. Different from them, Kim Ain, a deputy spokesperson for South Korea's Unification Ministry, told reporters Monday. She said Kim is also likely trying to boost internal solidarity behind his leadership as he grapples with economic hardships and the influence of South Korean pop culture. Ang Young-soo, head of dbrkhelp.org, a website focusing on health issues in North Korea, said Kim Jong-un is trying to pace out these symbols representing the legacies of his predecessors to promote his own era. As the third generation leader in the Kim family, he will find it difficult to push too far because that would weaken the legitimacy of its dynastic rule, said N, who has interviewed many North Korean defectors and closely monitors North Korean state media. Kim Jong-un is in a dilemma. He wants to stay away from his father's and grandfather's legacies more, but he can't do so, Allen said. He said North Koreans are now expected to wear Kim Jong-un's pins. Lev Eric Esley, professor of international studies at Women's University in Seoul, said the wearing of Kim Jong-un pins isn't surprising given that he has been consolidating his rule for over a decade. The question is now that Kim has stepped out from the shadow of his predecessors, whether he will undertake policy adjustments to break with North Korea's past economic failures, Esley said. In recent years, North Korea's fragile economy has suffered further setbacks because of strict pandemic restrictions, persistent UN sanctions, and its own mismanagement. During a Workers' Party meeting on Saturday, Kim spoke about some devaluations of struggling efforts to improve the country's economic status, according to state media. Some experts say Kim's moves are also related to his reported push to make his preteen daughter his heir in another hereditary power transfer. South Korea's spy agency said in January that it sees Kim's daughter, reportedly named Jo-ae and age about 11, as her father's likely heir apparent. Some analysts say it's still too early to call her Kim's successor, citing her age and North Korea's male-dominated hierarchy. Italian customs officials said Monday they had seized more than 6 tons of chemical precursors from China that could have been used to make narcotics worth 630 million euros or $678 million. The seizure was made at Milan's airport during an inspection of goods and included enough chemicals to produce more than 63 MDMA pills, they added. An Italian entrepreneur from Milan was placed under investigation, and 2 Chinese nationals were arrested in the Netherlands as part of investigations carried out with European Judicial Agency Eurojust, said Italian customs. After being analyzed in a laboratory, products seized that purported to be polyester powder coating turned out to be PMK, a precursor product of ecstasy. The cargo was intended to pass through a company with headquarters in Milan before being shipped off to the Netherlands. Dutch police officers contacted by Italian colleagues identified the intended final destination and seized thousands of kilos of PMK, ketamine, and hashish. Israel's national carrier LL said Sunday its Warsaw to Tel Aviv flight was not allowed to refuel at Antalya Airport after making an emergency landing to evacuate a passenger for medical reasons. Turkish workers at Antalya Airport refused to refuel flight LY5102 before it could take off for Israel, LL said in a statement. Local workers refused to refuel the company's plane even though it was a medical case, it said, adding that the passenger was evacuated. The plane then took off to Arhodis in Greece, where it will refuel before taking off to Israel, the airline said. Relations between Turkey and Israel have deteriorated since the war in Gaza broke out on October 7, with all direct flights between the two countries cancelled since. Turkish diplomatic sources confirmed the plane was allowed to make an emergency landing to evacuate a sick passenger. Fuel was to be provided to the plane due to humanitarian considerations, but as the relevant procedure was about to be completed, the captain decided to leave of his own accord, a Turkish diplomatic source said. Israeli newspaper The Times of Israel said the plane was on the tarmac at Antalya for several hours before it took off for Arrodis. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been a vocal critic of Israel's blustery military campaign in Gaza and has often expressed support for the Palestinian militant group Hamas as defenders of their homeland. Hamas is classed as a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and the European, among others. The Israel-Hamas war broke out after Hamas' October 7 attack on southern Israel that resulted in the deaths of 1,195 people, mostly civilians, according to an AFP tally based on official Israeli figures. Israel's retaliatory military offensive has killed at least 37,877 people in Gaza, also mostly civilians, according to the health ministry in the Hamas-run territory. And now for the business headlines. New e-commerce platform Shoppedia is eyeing to onboard around 1 million users by September, one of the first major milestones in the company's roadmap in becoming the top marketplace platform in the country. Shoppedia Chief Executive Officer Neil Laas told the Inquirer last week that they have over 10,000 registered users in the website to date, a number he said that is expected to be significantly bump up when they officially launch their app around September. In Shoppedia, what you see is what you get, he said during the company's event at the Manila Heritage Hotel, where the company previewed the latest version of their app. At Last, which touts his company as 100% Filipino-owned, expressed their commitment to thoroughly screen each merchant partner to avoid the peddling of fake goods in their online platform. Every merchant in Shoppedia undergoes a rigorous vetting process, ensuring that our valid consumers receive genuine products and true value for their hard-earned money, Laas said in his speech at the event. No more counterfeit goods, no more shady sellers, just pure, unadulterated, pure Filipino quality, he added. He added that they also have an around-the-clock customer service staff available to answer consumer complaints and other concerns. Shoppedia offers 24/7 access to live agents ready to assist with any question or concern, Laas said, adding that they are aiming to make the customer experience in their platform to be seamless, stress-free, and enjoyable. When asked how they plan to deal with the high level of competition and market saturation in the e-commerce industry, Laas said that there is always room for more competition. At the end of the day, competition is healthy. At the end of the day, people need to choose, he said. The Philippines' internet economy was valued at $7.5 billion in 2020, a figure projected to grow around 5 times to $35 billion by 2025, according to a 2023 study done by Google, Temasek, and Bain and Company. European aerospace giant Airbus said Monday it would buy major activities related to Airbus from subcontractor Spirit AeroSystems, as U.S. rival Boeing said it was going to take over the bulk of the group's operations. Spirit AeroSystems builds fuselages and other significant parts for both Airbus and Boeing. Airbus said it had entered into an agreement to take over Spirit's facilities related to the production of parts for its planes for a nominal fee of $1 and will be compensated by payment of $559 million from Spirit AeroSystems for the transaction. The group said this includes production sites related to the A350 in North Carolina and France, as well as the production of the A220 wings and mid-fuselage in Philbas and Casablanca in Morocco. It will also cover the A220 pylons, which are made in Kansas in the United States. The group said in a statement Monday that the agreement with Airbus aims to ensure stability of supply for its commercial aircraft programs through a more sustainable way forward, both operationally and financially. The announcement comes as U.S. aircraft manufacturer Boeing said it had reached a definitive deal to buy Spirit, which has faced scrutiny over production quality control in recent months. Boeing said the merger was worth $4.7 billion. Boeing is by far Spirit's biggest customer, with around 70% of its revenue coming from the American plane maker in 2023. And that is it for koolNews at 4 p.m. As always, we will be back with more headlines later with koolNews at 6 p.m. and koolNews Prime Time at 9 p.m. Until then, I am Aspir, and this has been koolNews at 4 p.m. Have a good afternoon, stay safe and take care, and we will see you later for more headlines at 6 p.m. Goodbye for now.